Rob Evans, left-handed pitcher at the University of Miami, and this is the Step Up Podcast.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the Step Up Podcast. It's your host, Nelly. I got home team Allie with me.
What's going on?
I got one of the homies, Rob Evans, with the home team with us. What's up,
Yo, Rob Evans, left-handed pitcher from Bronx, New York, currently playing at the University of Miami.
Ooh, shout out to the BX. Germ go like that. Shout out to the BX, man.
To the U.
Big time. So, Rob, talk to me, man. Travel ball kid. I know you're from Travel Ball, obviously. I believe it was East Cobb and MLB Breakthrough. Moving around. Talk to me, man, about Travel Ball and your come up right now.
Travel ball, I feel like for me it was definitely the biggest piece, because like I was in New York, I didn't really have all the looks that I wanted to. So then I had to hit the circuit and I had to get going. Like I had to play well. So I went to play with East Cobb. We had that great summer. Like we had one of the best teams I've probably ever seen in my life, honestly.
The Tar and everybody, I remember.
And it was crazy out here. So I think everybody on that team's name took off as soon as that went going, and then Breakthrough doing what they do. It was just like it was just one of those roads and those journeys that was. Before I was a little uncertain about it, but as soon as I got into it, I was like, all right, I know this is for me. Like we're gonna go and I'm gonna do what I got to do, and it's got me here so far. So I'm gonna keep going with it.
So you're born and raised up in New York.
Mm-hmm.
What's like biggest? Obviously, very drastic differences in the baseball world. But what's like the biggest thing about Florida that you like? Just being down here playing the game.
I've always said I don't really see a difference. I see competition as competition. I think in New York, everybody's just as gritty. They love to play baseball. But the only thing here is you'll just see more of the talent like around, and you'll see you'll see more names that you never heard of. New York, if you were good, I knew exactly who you were. Florida, I've seen some kids, I'm like, yo, I've never heard of this kid, but he's snowing 98. So it's just one of those things. But when it comes to the actual play, competition is competition, so you're going to see it wherever.
Yeah, for sure.
That makes sense. I'm not gonna even lie, Rob. As long as I know you, I never knew you were from New York. I swore you were from Georgia. But
yeah, everybody says that. Everybody thinks I'm from Atlanta because I hang with everyone. No, I'm not from Atlanta. I love Atlanta, but I'm not from Atlanta.
Everybody was, all your friends, from Drew Jones,
everybody's from Atlanta. I'm just the only oddball out, I promise.
Yeah. See,
so you moved after high school?
That's the weird thing about me. Like I moved out of my house when I was 16. I went to high school down in South Carolina to go play at a baseball academy, P27. That was another big move I had to make. It was one of those things I had to make a decision whether it was going to be with my family and kind of figure out if baseball was my thing or leave and know baseball was my thing. And I left and went perfectly fine, so I can't complain about it.
Sweet.
Sacrifices.
So first year, college. Talk to me about it. I know you went through some trials a little bit. Now you're here at Miami-Dade, new season, get ready to go. So tell me how that.
When I went to Chipola my freshman year, I knew what the goal was. I knew the goal was to get in, get out. It wasn't to be there 2 years. Obviously, I had known Cam before, so that was he made it pretty easy to pick Chipola. He told me it was the spot to go, so I went. My plan was to get drafted. Had some good offers coming in, but I also knew I could bet on myself, right? I saw I had the potential to really, get somewhere with it and make a lot of good money. So I went to Georgia State so I could have like a relaxation year, like no draft, just play. Had a good year, but then I got hurt. I had the surgery last year.
What'd you do?
I had a fracture in my left elbow. But it was one of those things I just threw through it. I threw through it for the whole season. Every outing, I was probably in the worst pain I've ever been in my life, but it was one of those things I told myself, I knew I was getting out of there, Sab. Like, I knew there was no way I stayed. I knew my potential was bigger than that. No shove to the program, but I just knew it. And then, I hit the portal, and I just wanted to go somewhere where I was going to develop and get to the point that I needed to be at, and that was the draft this upcoming year. And talking to Miami, knowing the situation they were in last year and not having a great year, I was like, look, like if I'm going to go somewhere, it needs to be somewhere where I'm going to have a shot, right? And I knew I was going to have a shot here to come in and get a spot and help a team win. So it was easy to pick. And then you add in it's the fact that it's Miami. You're not going to really do anything bad here. You're going to love it either way. So it was one of those decisions that as soon as I got the offer, I was like, all right, there it goes. That's where we're going.
Get it done. Well, that's dope.
Sweet. How long have you been out here?
I moved down here mid-July, because I wanted to get some rehab in down here so I could get familiar with the training staff and the coaches and all that stuff. And so I got there in mid-July. I haven't left since.
So you had surgery on your elbow?
Mm-hmm.
What was
that? It was
that?
A quick 40-minute surgery. They went in, got the bone fixed up. I had 2 screws put in. They still in there. The first couple weeks or so, month after, I was kind of like, dog, like, I don't know, like, I've never been through surgery. So I was like, what is this? Like, how am I going to bounce back? But I also told myself it was either bounce back or just go back to New York and become a nobody. And I didn't want to do that. So I made sure that I was going to do what I had to do. Came down here early and got my work in and paid off because, I'm in a good spot heading into the new year.
No, that's fire. I mean,
That's
I think it's going to
big.
be a great year for him. How does the arm feel talking about that injury?
Going through rehab, it was definitely hard because I wasn't used to it. Like, I'm not used to feeling pain besides when I was throwing through the injury.
Yeah.
So I'm looking in the back of my head. I'm like, yeah, am I still hurt? Like, no, but I had to trust the fact that I had the surgery. It was healed. Now you just got to go. Like, as soon as you get healed and you're done with rehab, you just got to go. And that's what I was telling myself. And the last, month of my recovery was probably the best because I was so confused. But then at that last month, I started throwing more lives and bullpens. It was 90-92, and I was like, all right, I'm back. Like, this is from 90-92, and I'm fresh off an injury. I'm fine. So as soon as I hit that point, it was no problem. But leading up to that last month of rehab, it was kind of like, okay, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. It's definitely like a mental toll, and I think it's something that we talk about this a lot. It either can break a player, it motivates you, makes you tougher.
And there was a couple times that, honestly speaking, I'd be in the bullpen. You watching everybody else do what they got to do, but I'm so restricted. Right, like guys are going out there, they're long tossing. I'm sitting here throwing 90 feet. I'm like, I don't want to do this. Like, I'm just not throwing it. I'm mad. But at the end of the day, to get where they were at, I had to do what I had to do. I had to take the baby steps to get to the bigger steps. And it was one of those things. It's just time that you had to take. And it's kind of like being a baby all over again. But as soon as you get past it, it's just all easy.
Teaches you patience for sure. It's like a slow process. And if you rush it, it's like you hurt yourself again.
Yeah, no, 100%. So what's an memorable moment for you? Obviously your career hasn't been super long yet. I feel like you're still starting, but there's got to be something that that you did that's yours that you remember.
It was definitely the draft combine. I'm a kid from the Bronx, New York.
You went viral.
Yeah, as soon as I got there, that's when our name got popping. I was like, yo, it's crazy. But it was one of those things. I got there. And you just feel like one of those guys that actually people know now. So it was kind of one of those wake up moments for me. Like, all right, like you're somebody, you can do something with this. Like, you got to believe it now. And ever since then, I feel like going to these bigger events, playing in these bigger places, you kind of just like, all right, this is nothing. Like, I played with the best of the best. I've seen the best of the best. You just got to do what you got to do at the end of the day. But that draft combine was definitely the wake up call, especially being around all my friends too that I've been around for so many years and seeing everybody getting what they worked for. It was definitely the big wake up.
No, that is cool. That class was a special class. Your class was everybody was close, everyone knew each other, and it was really hard to get drafted in that class.
And it was one of those friends. It was one of those things I had to realize. Right, I knew going into that draft that year, it was going to be hard being a high school guy, stacking up against high school guys who were disgusting. It was one of those things that if you got the money, you better take that money and you better go. But you also knew if you wanted to bet on yourself, you had to bet on yourself. And one person I really give props to is RJ. RJ was he was one of the bigger guys.
I thought he was the first round, bro. He was a real one.
And he took a chance, went to Vandy. He's had 2 great years, probably going to have another really good one. And now he's going to sit in the first round of the draft. And it's one of those things that it was a great class, but we also knew, like, this upcoming class is just the same class, add some more into it. Yeah. So that's all it was. You had to take a bet on yourself.
No, he bet it well, too. He's way bigger now. Now, I like that, too. Take a little gamble. If you don't invest in yourself, who will, right? Can't get me to invest in you if you don't, right? So, no, that's fire.
Who's someone that's, like, giving you that motivational drive or you think just encouraged you to be it's like a winner's mindset, you know what I mean? You see competition as motivation.
It'd definitely be my mom. My mom went through breast cancer, beat it. I watched her do it, beat it. Like, had no problems with it. She was always waking up with a smile on her face, providing for 6 kids. So if there was anybody who ever taught me to compete and just go out there and not care about what was going to happen afterwards, but only what happens in the present, of my mom. And it was one of those things that watching her go through that, it takes you through the rest of your life. Because everything I do now is one of those things. In the back of my head, I'm like, all right, if I give up, my mom's going to be disappointed. She probably won't be disappointed, but it's one of those things. If she could do it, I could do it. If she could do it, I could beat an elbow fracture. That ain't nothing.
Yeah.
No, facts. No, that's awesome, though. That's awesome. Really dope to you to look at. So I'm guessing you're a St. Jude's guy, too. Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. Well, just to wrap it up real quick, I wanted to talk to you about, I know you're in Miami. It's a different environment from where you went, different life. You see any temptations with some advice for these kids that come to a big school like yours? This is a real school you're in now. Like, this is no joke.
I feel like I'd get lost. I think about that all the time because my college is like a small town, Missouri. I come out here and I'm like, going to college here would be an experience.
Yeah, like I went to Georgia State last year, so I was in Atlanta, but I wasn't really in Atlanta. I was one of those kids. I went to school. I didn't even go to school. I'd go to baseball practice and back to the crib. So it was one of those things. But coming here, with the new day and age, especially you getting some money in your pocket from the school, it's easy to go out and do whatever you want. But it's one of those things that I will say, like, first couple 2 weeks, 3 weeks, we was in that mode of we were like, all right, let's go have fun. But then you gotta realize you're not an average student. You're not the regular student here. You didn't come here to party. You came here to do what you got to do and practice and perform. So the temptations are real. The only thing I can tell a kid is it's a choice you're gonna make. Nobody can. I can lead you to the water, but I can't make you swim. It's what my coach tells us. Like you got to do what you got to do. So if you want to do it and you really think this is the career for you, you'll realize that the party life and all that stuff is not. It's just extra. It's fun to be had, sure, definitely. Like it's fun to be had.
Yeah.
But I always said when your work is done and you got everything done, and you did everything you need to do, all right, then you could go enjoy yourself. But beforehand, especially with the money in your pocket, it's hard to just sit there and be like, oh, I'm free on a Saturday. Why not? Nah. Free on a Saturday, you might as well go to the facility, go do something with your life instead of going in and risking some trouble for nothing.
Facts.
For sure.
Facts.
It's good. It takes discipline, motivation.
Big time discipline. I really appreciate you showing up, Rob.
Definitely.
It's a big one for us. Big PG guy. He played in it, so it's sponsored by PG. Shout out to PG. Appreciate you, man. I'm excited to watch you this
Excited
season.
to
I'm here.
watch.
I
It's gonna be
live
good.
here.
It's gonna
I'm
be
in
good.
Pembroke.
It's definitely gonna be a good time here.
But it's your boy Nelly from the Step Up Podcast. I got home team Allie.
Bye, guys.
We out of here. Yeet.